It's finished in the fourth round of the FA Trophy. Kidderminster Harriers 0, Altrincham 0. Kidderminster have gone through 4-2 on penalties. Phil Parkinson joins us. Phil, that's turned into a really frustrating afternoon.
Yep, desperately disappointing. I know I'll be in for a bit of criticism tonight with regards slightly rotating, but I think we've done it for all the right reasons, utilised the squad. I feel that we were the better team without playing our best football. We created the best chances and it could have gone perfectly for us if Chris scores that at the end, but I'm certainly not going to be critical of Chris, the amount of times that he has converted them. So it was Christian Dibble's day, wasn't it? It was when I think he saved it off the oar on the line and then it went to penalties. I fancied that he would go on to come out on top there. So really disappointing to go out because I felt we played well enough to go through, but ultimately you've got to take your chances. We didn't, and when it goes to penalties it's a lottery, and hey, like I said, it was Christian's day today.
And when a player misses 2 penalties, that's what can happen. When Chris was first over to the fans to apologise, took it on the chin.
You shouldn't have to apologise. Chris is a massive player for us and nobody does that on purpose. It's just it's not gone in for him, and how many times has it? And I know our fans wouldn't need him to apologise, but that shows the calibre of the player and all the players. It's just really disappointing and difficult to take because we felt we were on top for large parts of the game. But ultimately, you've got to give full credit to Kidderminster. They held on to us as they do, ever so gritty. Not many teams beat Kidderminster by one or more goals. So they're a 1-0, 2-0 team, even though they're where they are in the league. They're a really tough team to break down and beat, as we found at our place. So listen, we've done it right, and no one can say we put the kids out. No one can say we haven't taken this seriously. We have, and it was almost the perfect outcome for us. If we score at the end with that penalty, we've got enough minutes in lads' legs now going into the next sequence of games. And they were all first team players. There wasn't a player on there who hasn't been in and around it this season or the last couple of weeks. So we are where we are. We're disappointed. I'm gutted because we got to the semi-finals last season. It's a great opportunity to get to Wembley. We didn't take it lightly, and I hope that's coming through now. We really wanted to go through today. We weren't looking at it as just a game to get minutes into players. That was the perfect scenario for us to get 3 or 4 players in a game that's going to be a National League standard game to show that they can compete, and if they couldn't, then we'd have to do something about it. But ultimately, everybody's contributed today. We win that 1-0. Everybody says that's... it ticks all the outcomes, but we haven't played particularly well. Still created the better chances, but ultimately, as I said, it was Christian Dibble's day and Jimmy's day as well. Jimmy, it must have been a tough week for him with Russ leaving, so I like him a lot. I think he deserved that for all the stuff that's gone on.
There was a stunning free kick from Alex Newby in the first half, which Christian Dibble almost seemed to duck under, but it's absolutely thundered against the crossbar. Great technique.
These are the bits, aren't they, that they go in for us another day and we win comfortably 1 or 2-0. Ethan's made a few saves from distance, but that's all it was. I don't think there was much in the penalty box that I can remember. I thought Coops and Sam did great. We've kept a clean sheet, haven't we? We've gone to penalties. We've created better chances, but ultimately you've got to take them chances. So listen, we move on to Chesterfield on Tuesday, but as I said, I don't want to go away from here making out it's all about our poor performance. Kidderminster deserve a lot of credit. They've got a new manager coming in. They had to show up today, and I felt they did themselves justice.
Yeah, they're not far away. They're clearly struggling bottom of the league, but they're not too far away.
Listen, look at the support at the end. I know they've won, but they were great all the way through. From this doesn't look like a club that's on the way down or a struggling club. But you'd say that about all the teams in the division. You go to Fylde, who were in that position a few months back now, and you think, how are they in that position? You look at these, if they start scoring goals, then obviously it changes for them. But that's the hardest thing. That's what we haven't done today, but we've created enough to score. But listen, full credit to them. They go through. I hope they go on and do really well in it, because if you're going to get beat a bit like we did last season, I hope we get beat by the eventual winners. But it's a difficult one to take because, as I said, we really wanted to do well in this competition. So if people throw at us, well, you should just go with your strongest team. I challenge to say all of them lads could contribute to being our strongest team, and moving forward, they're going to play some part in the next up and coming fixtures. So listen, it was important that we could see that they could compete, and they've shown they can. We've got players who we know are starters for us, and they come on and made a big impact when they come on.
There was a massive moment, as you mentioned. Christian Dibbles made a double save. It was Chris Clark who started it with a sort of cross shot, which Dibbles half spilled, and Dior Angus with the first header, and then a shot which somehow he's managed to get over to.
No, absolutely. It's just frustrating, isn't it, when we've not been able to execute and take those moments. But ultimately, you've got to give him a lot of credit today, and I know our fans have given him a little bit of stick because he's a local lad, isn't he? And that's what happens at football. But ultimately, I'm sure everyone will respect what he's done today.
So Chesterfield, Tuesday, huge game. It's unlikely that we're going to catch Chesterfield, but what an opportunity to see where we are.
Yeah, massive game, but they all are. We want to stay in the playoffs, don't we? So every game's important for us, and this was important. So, as I said, the lads who have played today, I've no doubt are going to play some role in the next coming fixtures. Chesterfield is a massive game for us, one that we want to do well in, one that you absolutely look forward to. But as I said, it's every game's as big as the next one now. It's the second half of the season. There's no room for error. There's no room for mistakes. It's got to be. We've all got to be on point and focused on what we want to achieve, which is getting in the playoffs.
And whilst it is a huge disappointment to go out of the FA Trophy, 100% focus now on the National League.
Absolutely. Like I said, really disappointed that we've gone out today, but we're in a great position in the league. We need to make sure this doesn't knock our confidence. I've said to the players in there, you've done everything apart from win the game. You should have won the game. You didn't. So we've got to make sure that we're staying firmly focused on what our end objective is, which is ultimately to get in the playoffs.